Every carnivore's worst nightmares have something that makes it so you can't stay on this life-changing and life-saving diet anymore. Whether it's because of actions taken by bad political actors or some personal tragedy that happens, or the economy continues to make getting meat harder and harder, losing access to red meat is a real nightmare scenario for anyone trying to live on the proper human diet. So this story is the stuff of nightmares for many carnivores, since it involves something that may take your ability to eat meat away from you for a long, long time. We're talking about the Lone Star tick. You may have heard about this in passing, but one bite from this critter may cause you to lose the ability to eat red meat for up to 5 years or worse. There have been tens of thousands of cases of this in the US already in recent years. Is it something to worry about? I'll let you decide on that one for yourself. The Lone Star tick made headlines recently because it's now the carrier of something else, something called the Heartland virus. And now even mainstream news outlets are talking about the Lone Star tick. So let's see what they're saying first before we talk about what it does to carnivores. Headline from Yahoo News. US man's death suggests deadly tick virus is spreading to new regions. I'll cover the Heartland virus in brief here because it's worth mentioning for some context. Quote, a rare but sometimes fatal tick-borne infection may be expanding its range in the U.S., local and federal health officials warn in a report this week. They say that a case of Heartland virus led to a man's death in 2021. The infection is thought to have been caught in either Virginia or Maryland, a region of the country where the virus hasn't been spotted in humans until now. The report was published online Thursday in Emerging Infectious Diseases by officials with the Virginia Department of Health, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Institutes of Health, as well as the doctors of Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. End quote. So serious health authorities have noticed this just kind of disturbing trend. The Heartland bug is carried by the infamous Lone Star tick. And again, you might have heard of the Lone Star tick, but if not, well, buckle up, folks, because you are on an animal-based diet, then this is the stuff of nightmares. If you get bitten by the Lone Star tick, you could develop an allergy to red meat. That is thought to be temporary. And by temporary, I mean lasting up to 5 years or so. And it's not only red meat, apparently, it's an allergy to any hooved animal protein. That's pretty much everything but poultry and fish. So say goodbye to your carnivore or even keto diet if you get bitten by this thing. Although I guess you could do a chicken-based keto, but why? For more information on what the Lone Star tick does, here's some information from an article by the website Health Matters. Headline, the Lone Star tick, what to know about the tick that causes a red meat allergy. An expert explains how a tick bite can cause a meat allergy and what to watch for if you've been bitten by the Lone Star tick. Now, to make matters worse, this allergy can be transmitted by more than just the Lone Star tick. There are 3 species of tick that can transmit this disease. From the article, quote, previously a southern state dweller, this species of tick has moved north in recent years, thanks to warming temperatures. The Lone Star tick is unique in that it can transmit a molecule that causes alpha-gal syndrome, a food allergy to red meat. An analysis of test results from 2010 to 2018 found over 34,000 documented cases of alpha-gal syndrome in the United States. Health Matters spoke with Dr. Brian Fallon, director of the Lyme and Tick-Borne Disease Research Center at Columbia, and a psychiatrist with New York Presbyterian Columbia University Irving Medical Center, to discover more about the Lone Star tick, as well as how to detect and treat alpha-gal syndrome. There are 3 main species of ticks to be aware of in the New York area. The black-legged tick, also known as the deer tick, and the dog tick are the most common. The Lone Star tick, which until recently was primarily found in the south and moves 3 times faster than the black-legged tick, is becoming more common and can carry a substance called alpha-gal that, after a bite, triggers a delayed allergic reaction to red meat, but not to chicken or fish. Distinguishing between each tick with the naked eye is challenging, but knowing which ones are predominant in the area is helpful if you have been bitten. End quote. The article then shows these 3 nasty little critters. They're clearly labeled as to what each one is on your screen. Get to know their distinguishing features, and if you want, send this video to your carnivore friends or social media groups so people can be aware. I advocate preventative measures to protect yourself and your loved ones from the bite of these nasty things. During the spring and summer, and even in the early parts of the fall, I have my yard sprayed for ticks and fleas by an exterminator every other month. And now that may sound extreme, but I do live on the edge of the present migratory range of the Lone Star tick. So I'm not taking any chances. And judging from how its migratory range is spreading, and I'll probably be deep into it here within the next 5 to 10 years. It helps also to keep your yard mowed and get those fall leaves up off the ground before the spring growth comes in. If you go hiking or participate in similar outdoor sports, wear long sleeves and get proper repellent if you can handle those kinds of chemicals. But what does the tick bite do? From the article, quote, alpha gal is a sugar molecule that humans don't have in their system, but a lot of animals do. This includes cow, bison, deer, pigs, sheep, and lamb. If a person is bitten by a Lone Star tick and it transmits the alpha gal molecule, the person may develop an antibody reaction to the molecule. In other words, they could develop an allergy. This means the next time the person eats red meat, such as beef or venison, or something made with beef gelatin, they could break out in hives or have a more serious allergic reaction. Unlike most allergic reactions, the alpha gal reaction is delayed, usually appearing several hours after exposure to red meat. Typical allergic reactions include hives, swelling, wheezing, abdominal symptoms may also occur, such as cramping pain, diarrhea, and nausea. Your doctor can do a blood test to see if you have alpha gal antibodies to confirm this is what is causing your allergy. For most people, over-the-counter antihistamines may be sufficient as treatment. If the allergic reaction is more intense, the person should seek immediate medical care and may need to carry a device to inject epinephrine, commonly known as an EpiPen. Unfortunately, there isn't a cure, but the allergy does appear to wane over time, lasting anywhere from 1 to 5 years. So the good news is people who have alpha gal may be able to go back to eating red meat. Is the best treatment then to simply avoid eating red meat? The interviewer asks, to which the doctor responds, yes, there are people with alpha gal who find they can eat red meat because the reaction is tolerable, maybe just itchiness, while other people will have a much stronger and potentially life-threatening allergic reaction that would require going to the emergency room, such as shortness of breath, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and vomiting. But like with any allergy, it's best to avoid the cause, end quote. The avoid eating red meat advice is only applicable if you've been bitten by the bug and have the alpha gal in your blood, though many cases may be mild with only itching as the consequence. But it's better to not take chances, I think. So please take some prudential measures to protect yourself and your loved ones from this thing. I live in tick country, so I take this pretty seriously every year, and I'll be having my exterminator spray for this starting in late March as the spring weather starts to set in. But do you know anyone who's been bitten by this bug? Do you have any experience with this thing yourself? Do you think it's too little of a risk to worry about since only 34,000 Americans have been bitten by it in an 8-year span, which turns into roughly 4,000 people a year? And then they've had adverse reactions, of course. So let me know in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help, as does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for tuning in.